So, but starting off, just like I said, sort of the elephant in the room is COVID. So right now is a really hard time to be making decisions for this summer. Summer is our start time for new students. So at this point, as you all know, it's not clear exactly when we will have a vaccine, how effective that vaccine will be, how the rollout will look. There may be countries that lag behind other countries in terms of their ability to get a vaccine out to the public. So there's still just a lot of unknowns. What I will say is that we will be following everything that Miami University is doing and recommending, plus our global initiatives offices, plus working with our in-country partners. And that is really the great thing about Earth Expeditions and the Global Field Program. Every country we travel to, we have grassroots organizations we work with extensively who know the situation there and can tell us, here's what's happening, here's what our government is recommending. Anything that we need to do to adapt, we will do. And so in terms of just timeline for the Earth Expeditions, the earliest one starts in May 20th. And just stepping back and walking back from that, if you apply to the Global Field Program, the application date is due January 28th. We usually let people know early to mid-March. And then I would say we would also be making any decisions in March as to if there are countries that we need to make special accommodations for in terms of travel, or that we cannot travel to, we would make those decisions at that time. And we would have options for everyone. So this past summer, we had to unfortunately cancel all of our Earth expeditions because of COVID. It was the safe thing to do, but also a heartbreaking thing to do because there's such great projects happening in these places. And a lot of these locations really benefit from tourism and travel and that kind of engagement. But in any case, we were able to shift to an online only course that was called Conservation Connected. And we had 250 students engaged in that and making real change, even remotely and virtually through that. So we have options, we can make things happen. For the zoos, maybe Ken, I'll put you a little bit on the spot because you work with the Cincinnati Zoo and Botanical Garden. Each zoo we work with and has its own particular guidelines that it's dealing with right now. So where is Cincinnati Zoo at right now, Ken, and how are you guys dealing with this?
Well, where the Cincinnati Zoo is right now is we do have guests coming in. I think they're limited to about 2,000 guests per day. And so folks register. As far as classes go, I think there's plannings and thoughts, but they haven't had an okay yet or knowledge yet on how to start classes. So we have been going online with the zoo classes and sharing, exposing people to the different activities, the different parks, the different regions and things like that in Cincinnati until the zoo comes along and says, okay, we can have, bring in 15 people and maybe have accommodations for them outside or some sort of safe accommodation. So it's just kind of a little bit of a wait and see and from a planning standpoint. But the zoo is open. Folks can come in. Right now, though, the fall classes are all being handled, virtually.
Right, and that'll continue into the spring. And one thing we do feel very passionately about is that if people are in a situation, we know not only are the spatial context of this pandemic is variable, right? There's different cities and states have different trend lines and so forth in different countries as well. But people's individual circumstances really vary too. So those of you that may be, you're a caretaker as well, and you have someone who has a compromised immune system or something like that. So you may feel less comfortable than others at doing some of the face-to-face at the zoos. So one of the things we're really working on is for this spring, certainly, we will have options that if there is face-to-face that becomes available, if it seems like that is doable, we will also have a virtual option if someone just does not feel comfortable that way. Now, moving forward into the summer and beyond, it's unclear where things are going to be in terms of all that, but I think we really want to make sure everyone feels safe with these courses. One other thing I should just say is that you can always defer. So you can apply to the program and then you can, if you are accepted into the program and for whatever reason, COVID or something else, maybe you realize in March or April that you're not going to be able to do it, you can defer and start in a subsequent semester. So that is a nice option, especially in uncertain times, such as is now.